Well, so it's not an entitlement that once you've gotten a US visa or a UK visa, or your visa has been approved in your country of origin, automatically you've got to get entry into that country. Well, I know that you don't want to hear this story, but that is the truth. That the visa is just to acknowledge that they know why you're getting into the country, that you have been granted visas to, but they can still do their further probes. There are people who have gone to the embassies or they've gotten to the port of entry and they have been denied, they've been sent back. And today I'll be sharing with you one story and also let you understand and be prepared for anything that can happen when you get to the port of entry. You're welcome back to my YouTube channel. Please do subscribe, okay? Let's just subscribe and get this conversation going. So I'm going to start with the story that I heard. This story I saw on TikTok. I'm sure a number of you have seen it, and I'll try and then post that video in between just so you can have a feel of what really happened. So this gentleman who was from an African country, I just don't want to mention the country's name, and he was granted a visa in his country of origin, and he had gotten to the US, the port of entry, and this was him in New York because he was coming for a program. He had been sent to go for a program. That is what he told the embassy when he was interviewed back in his country of origin. Now he gets there, and then his program is supposed to last for, I think, 14 days, and they look at his luggage that he brought along. He has this very huge bag, and he has this other side bag that has a number of things. You can see that it was really packed with stuff. So you know, when you get to the port of entry, aside the immigration doing its work, there are other people who also, I mean, try and do some sort of profiling, because they know that not everyone said the truth or spoke the truth when they were answering their questions in their country of origin. So they spotted this guy with all his luggage. He's in his late 40s, and they approached him. They asked him where he was coming from. He told them the country he was coming from. They asked him why he was entering the US. Remember, all these questions he had already answered them in his country of origin, and also even at the immigration he had answered them already. But this was like a third thing that they do. They call it, I think, profiling. And so they asked him why he had come there. He said that he had a program to partake in. So he told them that he had a program that he has to partake in New York from so and so period of time. And so they asked him which organization he works with. He mentioned that he works with a ministry in his country of origin and that he's been selected to be the one to cover. So they asked him, is he the only one coming for this event? He says that, oh, there are other participants who will be coming from other ministries in his country, but he took the lead, and so the others are supposed to come in due time, because I think he had like some few days ahead to the event. So well, they took him in, they asked him why he had all of these things, and he says that, oh well, he's from so and so country, and so he likes to eat so and so foods. But they asked him why he had this huge bag of food. Was it that he was going to sell them? Was it that he was going to stay and not necessarily do what he told the immigration or the US embassy what he was supposed to do? And the gentleman was fumbling. That was when they knew that he got something up his sleeve. So they took him in, they asked him several questions. He proved that with his ID card, because they wanted to be sure whether he worked with that organization in his country or ministry. He showed his ID card, but they spotted something, that his ID card was a year late or expired. Let me put it that way, because it had expired, because we're in 2024. His ID card had expired, I think 2023 or 2 years before, and so it prompted them, I mean, it triggered something. So they were asking why his ID card has expired and he's not gotten a new one, if truly he works with that institution. He says that he's here to get a new one. Well, fast forward, they asked him what shows that your institution knows that you are traveling to be a part of this event? Then he shows a letter. He provides a letter. Now the letter, they try to call the number on the letter to verify, and then the ministry says that they do not know anyone like that who has been sent for this event. And as a matter of fact, they had someone who was coming for the event but had not yet arrived, and that brought about the suspicions. They were unsure about him. They asked him again if truly he works with that institution. He says yes. And they had to probe further and further and further. It was later on that he agreed and said that, yeah, well, he used to work with that institution, but he has left there, and that he was just taking advantage of this event because he's been there before for the same event. And a number of things showed that truly he had lied at the port of entry, to the immigration, to the people that he was with there, and all of that. So the fact that he had gotten a visa did not guarantee that he was entering the US, for the reason why he told them, because they did further checks. So I'm just saying that when you get your visa, remember that everything you said is going to be asked again. When you get to the immigration, for instance, I'll use myself for instance. When I got to the immigration, I was asked similar questions. Why have you traveled to the US? How long are you going to be here? How much money do you have on you? Where are you going to reside for the number of days or years that you're going to be here? You know, they literally probe you and ask the same questions that you were asked sometime when you went for your visa interview. So don't forget the things that you say during your visa interviews, because there are some people who are genuinely, they are not lying, which I know. The friend that I wanted to share the story is my friend's sister. So she had gotten to the UK. UK does that a lot because they don't have in-person interviews when you apply for the visas. It is unless you get to the UK that they ask you. So she had gotten to London, and they asked her why she had gotten into London, what and what. And this lady that I'm talking about had, I think it was a work visa. So she had been brought into the country by a company who had sponsored his visa and everything. Now he gets there, he also had this luggage with some food items, not knowing he was going to share it to people he knew there. But when he was asked during his visa interview, he told the immigration person that he didn't know anyone there. So they asked him several questions, that if you don't know anyone, how come you are telling me that all these things you're going to give to people, because you lied to us. And once there's that feel of lies and all of that, it brings you into some sort of questioning. So they took her in, they asked her several questions, and genuinely she was coming for the right reason, but because she was tense, she was nervous and all of that, she couldn't answer her questions well, and so they returned her to her country of origin. And it was the same thing for the man that I was narrating his story to you. So it is not automatic that once you've gotten your visa, you are going to have an entry into it. I mean, it could be that the interviewer did not get your answers right, and so maybe gave you the visa, but the immigration in the US or the other security agencies can also take you back, even if you have illegal substances on you, or have this narcotics and all of that. You'll be taken back. At times you can even be put into cells, prison. That's if you have some sort of illegal substance on you. So I'm just sharing this with you so that you have a fair idea that the fact that you have a visa wouldn't guarantee your entry. However, it is just a proof that you've been interviewed, that they know why you're coming into the country, amongst other things. So I hope that it doesn't happen to any one of you, but I'm just saying that always remember the things that you put in your DS-160, the things that you say when you go for your visa interview itself, so that you do not find yourself wanting when you get to the US, or you get to the UK or Australia or any country or Canada, because it happens a number of times. So I wish you all the best, and if you've not subscribed, please do subscribe now so that I can share with you more on the things that I get information on. Thank you so much.